Right, among the first things I have to figure out is how to get this emulated game to register the emulated Game Boy games on the same computer in a way it'll register. Still, we don't need an established team for what we're about to do first. What we need is a rental team for the one cup in this game that I feel has the most annoying restrictions for a team. So I'm not gonna bother using Pokemon we actually train for it. Yeah, the biggest issue for me here is that it doesn't want any evolved Pokemon for this, when the level range is when our starter would change to their first evolution. I swear, the cup that lets in lower level Pokemon is probably going to let us have more than just 45 out of the original 151. Well, since we don't have any Pokemon of our own just yet, we're definitely using the rentals here. Again, hate that rule considering how high level this tournament is supposed to be. So the size and weight limit is why the legendaries and Onix aren't allowed to join in here as well. This particular rule is more of a mercy for people since items aren't all that usable here. Especially since sleep is so damn annoying to deal with, especially in the first generation. Right, now we need to grab the rentals that are available for this thing. Now, I'm no Pokemon expert, hence why I'm never going to do a Nuzlocke on any of my Pokemon-related playthroughs. I rarely, if ever, pay attention to the stats on a given Pokemon, typically going with appearance and typing, and various other little things to decide if I like a Mon for my team or not. Add in the fact that a lot of rental Pokemon have some strange movesets, and well, I hope nobody minds if I don't try to grab the most powerful or your particular favorite for this opening rental tournament here. On one hand, this little girl has Blizzard, Toxic, and Double Kick. On the other hand, I'm probably not going to grab too many other poison types after grabbing her. Especially since Psychic is so obscenely powerful in this generation. Do you mean to tell me the only fire move anyone around here knows is Fire Blast? Right, and of course he knows Thunder instead of Thunderbolt. I may not remember off the top of my head why some moves are preferable to others in terms of stats, but at least I remember that much. I'm not sure what would be a worse choice in this tournament, Magikarp or Ditto. Either way, I'm not touching them at all. And I think I'm going to ignore the poison typing on Ghastly here, because he's got Nightshade and Mega Drain, while also being a type that normal types are gonna have a rough time touching at all. Also, possibly as a bit of an apology, since Ghastly's the only coastline in the first generation, and I'm probably not going to be using him once we actually start building up our team for Red. Ah well, Ghastly is one of the few that shows up in absolutely every generation as a wild somewhere, so it's not like we're going to be missing our only shot with the little gas ball here. Wait, Farfetch'd can fly? I thought that bamboo sword in his wing meant he was a flightless bird. Yeesh! Even when we've got an especially restrictive set of regulations, it's hard to make choices around here. In gameplay terms, I know why they limit us to 6 in our proverbial belt at a given time, and why these tournaments limit us to 3 per round for the most part. Helps save time and also makes you really think about what you're bringing along. Still, can't help wishing there was some version of Pokemon where you could have around a dozen or so with you at once, since in a given generation I tend to like quite a few that I come across. Okay, not the kind of type coverage I was expecting when I first thought of doing this tournament, but then I didn't remember just how many iffy moves the Rentals had. Kinda tempted to grab the Sandshrew for this team somewhere, but at the same time I can't really think of which member that we've already picked out would be replaced by a Sandshrew. Ah well, I'm not here to be the best like no one ever was. I'm here to have fun just seeing how far I can get here. And if we somehow manage to get a win and trophy out of it, then that'll be great. But if we don't get the trophy, hopefully I'll at least make an honorable showing along the way. Right, I should probably shift to something more announcer-like once we actually get to the stadium for my voice here. As amusing as the in-game announcer can be, I'd say we need someone who can do a bit less of a generic play-by-play as things go along. And hopefully I won't repeat myself all that often. Well, the 2 water types are certainly going to be warm in the bench, considering how many grass types this bug trainer has with him. Geodude's probably out for the same reason. Not too sure about the 2 poison types as well, since the Execute probably has a psychic move or 2. Trouble right out of the gate, just because of my own decisions. Definitely a brilliant start here. Well, at least we have a fire type to start things off against a bug and grass user, so I'm not at an obscene disadvantage in round 1, just a very noticeable one. Right, well, there's not too much point staring at our moves for too long, because obviously we're going to be trying to set this glorified forest ablaze.
Whoa! Looks like a bad Pokemon choice. Taken down on the word go!
Kinda like how the leaves took a moment to decide to flop down with the rest of them there.
Oh, it's Parrot!
Sorry to say this, little guy, but I somehow doubt you're going to be able to parry this particular offensive. We are literally writing a Japanese symbol in fire. Specifically, something that last time I checked is used in the Kyoto Daimonji Festival. I seriously doubt these poor flammable cuties appreciate having a word that means large/great character branded onto them like this. Hence why they keep dropping without being
The
able to
remaining
do
Pokemon
anything in
count is
response.
3-1. The battle has become one-sided.
Indeed it has, and I was worried it might be a disadvantage for us since only one of our guys was suited for any of theirs specifically.
Wow, that didn't take much. And there goes the battle.
Well, how appropriate. We burned Billsy, so they decided to ring the bell. We'll just see how long things stay that one-sided in our favor for us. One round down, and we'll see if we'll be able to take all 8 rounds with the rental team we have. Lad, I'd ask why you decided to bring a Ditto into this tournament at all, but then I'm not one to talk about smart team compositions. Still, mostly poison, I think our Psychic on the team should be able to do some damage. Definitely something where we've got more freedom to use our team members than the first round. Assuming, of course, that the lad throws something at us that isn't going to get one-shotted like the poor bug boy we fought just before him.
What kind of battle can we expect to see?
Maybe it's arrogant, but I think we can expect to see another short one. Of course, what can you expect when a bunch of cute-looking beasts trade blows like this?
They strike fighting poses.
Funny, doesn't look like they've changed poses to me, but maybe you're seeing something different than I am. Okay, not really one to use status-changing moves myself, but I've certainly learned over the years to respect Sand Attack. Hell, is that sort of thing that makes me feel like people should consider Pokemon's random number generator a more malicious god than XCOM's. It's just that in XCOM, people explicitly die if a roll goes wrong. But in Pokemon, that's only the case if someone chooses to play a Nuzlocke challenge.
Fireworks are flying in this battle.
I don't think wind and psychic powers really count as fireworks.
How's that? Oops, that's a miss.
We already missed twice in a row. I'm not sure you need to keep throwing more sand into the little guy's eyes.
Neither one is conceding an inch. Savage attack. That's a good hit. Oh, is it down and out?
Well, since it landed like a drunkard, I'm pretty sure he's not in any condition to keep going here.
Oh, it's Zubat.
And now for something that should be weak to the psychic attack we've been spamming so far in this fight. Part of me kind of wishes that Poliwag actually moved a little when doing Psy-Wave, but I suppose it's understandable that a Pokemon using psychic powers isn't gonna do any kind of dance to go along with it.
It's confused. Sparks are flying in this heated match. Vigorous attack.
How can you call it a vigorous attack when he hasn't stopped just walking in place like that? And why the hell isn't a psychic attack hurting a poison type more than that? Hold on, let me read up on Psy-Wave here. Inflicts a random amount of damage varying between... Ugh! Just that part makes it sound painfully useless. I didn't even need to get to the part that says this move doesn't take weaknesses into account, but does take into account immunities. Sorry, Poliwag. Didn't know enough about a move that I thought made you seem pretty badass in the rental department. If nothing else, the odd move pools are a big reason why this first tournament is the only one where we're going to bother with rentals.
Which Pokemon is coming out? Now. Oh,
anyone ready for some blizzards?
We're evenly matched at 2 Pokemon aside.
Oh, I don't know. I think the lad has the advantage. After all, he's trained and nicknamed his Pokemon. What we have here are a bunch of Dittos that have movesets that the tournament bookers set aside for anyone who didn't have teams of their own for this mess. Sure, most of the nicknames we're seeing from our opponents out here are rather uncreative, but hey, considering how many Pokemon are in this generation and how many are to come after it, the important part is that the trainer knows who he or she is sending out at a given time.
Double kick! Perfect game!
Those looked more like backflips than kicks, but then it's not like we can actually show the Pokemon striking each other with melee attacks around here.
The combatants face each other. What's that? A decent hit! What's this? The attack wasn't
Okay,
effective.
definitely nice to know that Dittos do such a convincing job changing form that they carry over weaknesses and advantages. Wonder how that works since the little pink molds start as normal types for some reason.
There, it's a hit. Oh, it's down.
Even takes on the unconsciousness animation for that particular thing it transforms into. Not turning back into its original form and then collapsing. Guess I should have known that based on the way our rental Poliwag went down earlier. This is about the point when I had to go deal with other things for a while after the first recording, but thanks to the magic of video editing, we don't have to split the clip at this particular point. We can just continue as if there was never a breaking point in the first place. Though to be honest, the little updates and various adjustments I tried to do in order to make the emulator more capable of handling the Game Boy games later on, kind of set some of the control buttons to different positions for me. Specifically, the yellow directional buttons ended up going in opposite directions for a bit, for no seeming reason at all. So I had to temporarily pause the emulation to get all of that fixed, because it would be a little awkward to be throwing the absolute wrong attacks in a game this simplistic. Considering how much of a pain it was to get everything running just well enough to do what I hoped here, it's not really a surprise that when Generation 3 came along, they stopped doing the Pokemon Stadium games. A bit annoying considering the things I'm planning on doing with the first and second generations as I alternate between Stadium and the Game Boy games, but it's pretty understandable. As fun as this is overall, the gimmick just feels like it was more effort than it was really worth, considering Stadium is just a 3D battle playground for games that, for the most part, are going to be stuck on 3D for quite a few generations here. Right, well, seems I got the controller issue under control now. Time to beat down someone who's considered a nerd in the Pokemon world. Thank you for giving the tadpole something to surf over, Dude Geo. Okay, never mind. Though you don't need to be a nerd to be able to go rock versus water equals erosion. And holy crap, did they really let someone into this tournament with a Pokemon named Effing Cough? I thought this was a kid-friendly game, and I'm planning on trying to make the commentary, as long as possible, stay within the PG-13 rating if I can manage it. But no, they just had to have Effing Cough in my face within the first clip of the first generation. Something that really makes me want to make some immature cuss word play. And when I decided I wasn't gonna play along, he decided to effing blow up in my face.
Goes down. Wow, they're down. They're both down.
Yes, both going down is kind of the point behind suicide attacks. It may be an instant forfeit if the suicidal mon is the last member of a team, but if it's the first or somewhere in the middle, it's still a genuine tactic. Not a move I would recommend, but I have on occasion had a mon or two ready to blow up if I felt the benefits outweighed sacrificing a member of my team. One of many reasons I don't tend to do Nuzlocke challenges, even if I more than respect anyone who does. Are you kidding me? You did 2 suicide attacks in a 3 Pokemon match? How in the hell do you manage to get this far into the tournament with those kinds of tactics? Oh god, he's gonna blow himself up for a 3rd time, isn't he? I thought we were fighting against your average Pokemon nerd here, not Crazy Ivan!
Sonic Boom!
Apparently he learned Sonic Boom from Guile of Street Fighter fame, if that animation is anything to judge.
Both combatants are down to their last Pokemon.
And thankfully, since self-destruct is a normal move, it'll have no effect on Ghastly at all. Speaking of Ghastly, is there a reason they made him so bloody big in this game? Seriously, I could have sworn a Ghastly was about the same size as a Zubat, and didn't get that big until it got to the Haunter stage at least. But I suppose they made him that big just so we could enjoy those nice reaction faces better.
Neither one is conceding an inch. Combatants face each other.
Let me guess, his only offensive moves are Sonic Boom and Self-Destruct, which won't do anything to a ghost.
What'll it do? Major damage! Fireworks are flying in this battle. They strike fighting poses.
Yeah, that's a problem with having a suicide gimmick. Sometimes you deal with Pokemon that are just a little too tough to bring down like the Nidoran earlier, or you run into one that isn't affected by explosions at all, like Ghastly. Hopefully this guy will learn that when your best offensive option is a car crash, you're just asking to run into somebody made of sterner stuff than you are. I think we can fit one more fight into this clip. Well, I suppose it's appropriate we heard the thunder of explosions in that last match. But does that mean that the next match will be quite the light show? At the very least, the flying and water types we're going up against seem to be encouraging an electric solution. Okay, so much like the first round, I don't have too many great options to use against the Sailor.
The crowd's excitement is building. This is round 4.
Well, I'll try to give them a solid show, but considering how quickly these matches go, I'm pretty sure we're not the main event to any of these rounds anyway. But then, what would I know about booking a match card for a Pokemon balloting stadium anyway?
Taken down on the word go! We might be in for a one-sided affair.
Well, that's certainly an interesting judgment there from the announcer.
Oh, it's Zero! How will the type difference affect that?
It's not a matter of what type the Pokemon is, it's what types the Pokemon knows how to throw. And I'm afraid to say in this case, that our opposition is just going to be thunderstruck over and over again until they call the match. Kinda makes me wish there was an option to surrender that the other trainers could take when it's this lopsided against them. Something to help them retain some measure of dignity in the face of a very painful butt-kicking.
The battle has become one-sided. Savage attack. Missed the target. What's the point of splashing?
Well, you might see the point if we ever do the Magikarp minigame later on. And now I kinda want to send a thunder attack into that announcer booth, just because it's not the Magikarp's fault that he was thrown into a fight he couldn't possibly win out here.
And there goes the battle!
Right, this seems as good a place to cut things off as any. Next time we finish this tournament and start Pokemon Red properly.